Hello everybody and welcome. We're going to be going over section 3.2 notes today, displaying numerical data, and we are talking about stem and leaf plots. All right, so let's get started. A stem and leaf plot is an effective and compact way to display univariate numeric data. Okay, and we prefer to do this for smaller data sets because inside a stem and leaf plot, you see individual counts. So if you have a lot of numbers there, every single individual number is going to be represented on the display. So a large display would not be ideal. All right, so let's talk about why is a stem and leaf plot useful. All right, so it's useful because it shows characteristics of shape. And that can kind of give us an idea to the amount or the extent of symmetry we have. It also shows us characteristics of spread. So we can see how lumped together data is, things like that. Building off of that, it is you're able to easily spot outliers or possible outliers. Okay, and these are just unusual values. And another thing related to spread is you can easily see gaps in the data. Okay, and last but not least is you can see it shows the center values, the middle values, or the modal values, which is just the most common values. So is a stem and leaf plot useful? Yes, 100% it is, but it just might not be practical depending on how much data you have. All right, let's get going. Other types of stem and leaf plots we have is we've got a repeated stem and leaf plot. And what that is, if you can't remember, is if we use it to stretch a display with lumped data. So if we notice one of the leaves is very compact or it has a lot of data on it, then a repeated stem and leaf plot may be a better idea because this gives us a more informative picture. So this stem and leaf plot that we have right here has some pretty compacted values around 2 and 3. We've got a lot of values up there. And based off of what we see right now, this graph is looking pretty skewed. It's looking pretty skewed to the right. So with the repeated stems, we may or may not see that this skew is more or less dramatic than we see it right now. Okay, so let's just check out how we do this. So we've got our stems and our leaves. And this time we're gonna have 2 of every one. And there happens to, we won't need another 5, so I'm just not gonna do it because I'm running out of room. And on the first stem, we have leaves numbered 0 through 4. And on the second stem, we have leaves numbered 5 through 9. So it just kind of spreads out the data a little bit more. Remember, when you're making a stem and leaf plot, you always want all of the data to be lined up as possible, so that we really don't get a biased or inaccurate representation of the data. We don't want to squish anything together, so we're going to try and keep everything as neat as possible. So over here we've got 2 and 4. That's going to go on the first leaf, and then the 88899 will go on the second leaf. For the 3, we've got 0224 on the first leaf. Doing my best to keep things lined up. And 668 on the second leaf. For 4, we've got 114 on the first leaf. And just a 6 on the second. And 5, 0, and 2 on the first. So this may or may not support our idea about the shape. We see that it's not as dramatically skewed as it seems to be over here, but we still do have some skew. So we may or may not determine the shape initially that we thought it was accurate. It can give us a clear picture. So our data was definitely skewed here, but now it's kind of clear that it's not as trailing as we may have thought it was. But we do have a little bit of gapping here. Okay. And next we've got back-to-back stem and leaf plots. We use these when we are comparing 2 sets of data. Oops, I can't draw a W. 2 sets of data. Okay, we can see the shape, the center, and the spread easily for 2 variables. Or for the same variable, I'm sorry, but 2 different sets of data. So over here we have the same variable. We actually don't know what it is at this point in time, but we're able to look at the distribution for males and for females. We can easily compare what we think the shape is. We can easily look at differences and similarities. Males have a bunch of values here, females do not. Males have a bunch of values here, females do not. Females have a bunch of values here, males do not. So we can compare easily. Also, with a back-to-back stem and leaf plot, you can have repeated stems here too if you would like, if it works out for what you're doing. So we have one set of data, the female data, another set of data, the male data, and we are just kind of mashing the 2 plots together so that we can compare easily.